think for a lot of people, putting your faith into Weekly Shonen Jump manga, especially new ones, very difficult, a little bit hard. You don't want to see a story that you're putting your faith into suddenly get cancelled, which is very common, not happy. Today, however, we're going to completely ignore all of that and look at some brand new manga from Weekly Shonen Jump. Two that I had a pretty enjoyable time reading that I think have a little bit of potential. One's very simple and feels familiar to a lot of other things, so it might be more on the chopping block at the moment, but the other feels nice, enjoyable, interesting, different even. It's a bit odd to explain it, but I'll definitely go more into detail. So a little teaser for both of them. One of them is a story about a young girl who is slowly turning into a dragon, or at least gaining dragon-like abilities while in school. Pretty straightforward, right? And the other one is an alien manga. A high school student gets an alien ability within his arm that transforms it, and he has to fight aliens with the government. Starting off with my personal favorite, Ruri Dragon. I am genuinely surprised by this story. It's not anything phenomenal or perfect or a masterpiece or something that I feel confident in saying that it's going to survive the cancellation slaughter that a lot of series go through, but I have faith. There's something odd about this story, odd about this manga in general, with how you read it and how effortless it is to indulge within. It's enjoyable, it has finesse within it. It's not trying to be this crazy complex battle manga or even a super simplistic romance manga. It's just doing its own thing. And in a world within Weekly Shonen Jump where there is a lot of formulas and a lot of different styles of stories combining with one another, it's not necessarily rare, but definitely nice to get something different, a nice change of pace, so to speak. And for me personally, Ruri Dragon fills that void. The story itself is really simple, but has a nice little hook to it, right? We follow our main character, Ruri, who is a student that suddenly wakes up with horns on her head, right? Just sticking out all of a sudden. And people's reaction to this, nonchalant, simple, breezy, don't even care. It's not even a deal, really. They acknowledge it, they think it's cute or quirky or interesting, and then they move on with their day. And this is pretty much how everything runs through the story. Everyone acknowledges these dragon-like abilities that Ruri is getting, but isn't really making the big deal that you would originally think. Ruri herself is confused about the whole situation. She starts to breathe fire by accident and has incredible healing, and her mother is kind of just super easy about it. She knew this day was coming. Her father is actually a dragon. That makes Ruri a half dragon, half human, however that's possible. And in total, it follows her day-to-day life, dealing with these dragon powers, dealing with the stress of school, befriending people, and overall just living her life. Super simple, right? Doesn't sound extraordinary or super out there or this unique concept that's never been done before, but yet it is so incredibly addicting. For myself, one of the strongest things about this story, other than its artwork, which I feel like is very pretty and suiting for what it's doing, is actually its dialogue. I love the interactions between every single character because they feel very genuine, almost scarily authentic. There's a lot of stuttering and kind of weird play with words and a lot of this emotional attachment and detachment to certain things. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's nice to have this invigorating dialogue within your story that feels so incredibly natural because it feels rewarding, it feels entertaining, and because it feels like you're listening to a conversation happen in front of you. This isn't the most difficult thing to achieve, but on the level that Ruri Dragon does it as a manga, as a narrative, as a story, kind of plays as its vital heartbeat. If this manga didn't have the compelling dialogue that it has or the interaction between characters, but still the same concept, personally I don't think it would be as enjoyable. So I'm very happy that it seems like a lot of effort has gone into capturing conversations in a very fun and exciting type of way. Characters stumbling over words or taking breaks or pauses and repeating themselves and just the back and forth banter between one another. It's nice, especially because you have characters that don't really blow up the situation to some exuberant level that's unmatched. Everything's simple, very clean, very precise. You understand what's going on. It doesn't really lead you on, but it does kind of play into a sense of uncertainty. At least for me, I felt a little bit odd with everything that was going on and how normal it all felt. I was kind of expecting some horror horror to come out at one moment or something else entirely to happen just to twist the perspective of the narrative, yet nothing ever came. I'm happy that it turned out this way, but I think that's just proof in itself how well this story is built structurally, with its characters being very identifiable, very unique in the way they speak and how they interact with people, and the dialogue being so strong and efficient with some very smooth and simple artwork to back it, but with the hook of the story providing interest, moving you forward, but not completely overshadowing everything that is valuable. I for one am very excited to see where this story goes, because honestly it could go anywhere. It could do anything. With such a healthy and strong foundation, the opportunity that it has to be successful, to play into different storylines, to really focus on Ruri as a character and other individuals and just them living their life, it's a really nice change of pace and a great story for people to kind of come back to when they're feeling maybe a little bit bored, or when they want something in between all the action and battle crazy stuff that is going on within other stories. In total, I really enjoy this manga and I wish all the best for it. The other manga is Aliens Area, and a little brief description of this. Our main character Tatsumi is a high school student. He's almost out, but he is incredibly broke. He's trying to take care of his two very young siblings, so college is off the table. He's working hard after school. He's doing everything he can to provide for them without his parents that passed away in a house fire many years prior. Within that house fire, however, he's seen this bright flashing light, and this would be in correlation to potentially an alien abduction or some sort of experiment that happened on him specifically back then, as we find out that his hand or his arm in total is a weapon from outer space. It has alien technology inside of it, and when he's coming home from school one day to his home, his siblings are in danger by these two very humanoid looking people, but turns out to be actually alien, looking for his arm specifically, the technology within it, and they want to take it back. For the first time he activates it, very reminiscent of Luffy, which honestly feels like paying homage to it because his arm stretches out. There's like a pose there that looks almost identical to Gear Second. I wouldn't be surprised if it's paying respect to it. Then to put in all of its simplest terms, the Men in Black show up, government, to offer him a job to become an implantee is what they call it. Someone that has alien tech inside of them, that is human, that works for the government, that fights aliens and kind of defends the human race. So rather full on, I apologize, but for me this manga is definitely something. It has some sort of potential. Is it as much as Ruri Dragon? Personally, I don't think so, but I do think the whole idea, core of this story being around aliens and their interpretations and how unique you can get with alien invasions, etc., is a direct response to Dan Currently, within the main spotlight of Weekly Shonen Jump and Jump Plus stories, Dan is the only popular alien manga out there. But funny enough, I don't think it's popular because of its aliens solely, but mostly the story just being this embodiment of chaos, and that if you liked Chainsaw Man, Dan's author used to be an assistant to Chainsaw Man's author, Fujimoto. So there's a lot of style and references and ways the story is written that's very familiar, in a sense being powerfully chaotic with aliens in a very unique and playful storytelling experience, right? Aliens Area doesn't have that charm, and I don't expect it to, but I do think it's trying its best to capitalize on the recent success of Aliens and specifically Dan, which isn't a bad thing. This story definitely does have potential. One of its biggest is its artistic prowess. When it comes to the abilities, when it comes to aliens, the artistry behind it is very good. Super thick lines, very creative designs and ideas, and just a lot of different ways that is healthy for the alien aesthetic. You need to have a lot of ideas coming out, and you need to portray these ideas, I think, really well. Aliens Area does do this, but then on its combat front, it's half good, half somewhat getting there. So there's a bit to work on, in a sense. It's not the most pristine artwork you've ever seen, but it feels very stylistic, that's for sure. For a lot of people, I think the downside for this story would be that it doesn't really do anything special. It doesn't really have a spark or a ignition that's going to hook you into the story straight away. If you're not into aliens, probably won't care for this story whatsoever, because the main character or the supporting characters haven't really done anything to make you all too interested in them, other than probably the main standout character being Shiraku, who is the person or the lead investigator that actually hires our main character Tatsumi. He's very powerful, he's very efficient, he's mysterious, and he's becoming a tutor or a mentor for our main character. To be fair, it's only been 5 chapters, so this has time to expand. But then again, there's only so long you can go without having some type of spark that's going to reel people in. I guess that would be different for everyone. Maybe you absolutely love this story straight from the get-go, which if that's the case, I'm very happy for you. Personally, for me, however, I think it has a little bit more to go. It could definitely turn and tune and evolve into a very successful story that continues for a long time, but at the moment, it may be in a little bit of a gray area. I can't confidently say in where its future is going. Ruri Dragon, on the other hand, is a test of time, if anything. It has all the potential in the world to be something very special and really enjoyable. It's just how its narrative and that appeal hold up against time. There's only so long that you can do portions of the same thing over and over again. And while Ruri Dragon has a strong appeal in different aspects, how do we play on that? How do we creatively evolve it over time? And can it be fulfilling and continuously enjoyable? I think it has a lot going for it, so I feel confident in saying that it's going to continue for quite some time. But then again, we can never really know. Only time will tell if they can survive the weekly Shonen Jump cancellation block. I wish them all the best, but I had a fun time with both of them. With that, however, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Ruri Dragon and Aliens Area. If you've read them, if you're interested, if you don't like them, let me know. But I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you within the next one. Goodbye.